Hello, Aldwyn Altuney here. Welcome to Media Queen TV. We have some fantastic guests with us today. Beautiful Michelle and Mark from Mount Tambourine, and from the Dream Architects is their business, and they help dreams come true for empty nesters. We're going to hear their story today, as well as share 7 tips to empower empty nesters today. So welcome, Michelle and Mark.
Thank you, Aldwyn. Thank you so much for having us, for this opportunity to share with more people.
Thank you, Aldwyn. It's always good to chat with you. So it's just amazing to be here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it is raining here right across the Gold Coast, and so it's quite nice to be indoors working right now. Now, could you share, for those who don't know you, a little bit about your story? Because I must say, when I first saw the Dream Architects, I thought it was an architect company, and then I found out there is actually an architect link, but it's not linked. So I'd love to hear the link to the architects and the play on the word, and you know, a bit about your story. So who would like to go first?
No, happy to. So so I was an architect, a design architect, project manager for about 23 years of my career. Really enjoyed the career, but at the end of the day, it was a bit of a, you know, I went through a life transition, I suppose. You know, had some things happen in my life that made me start to question, you know, what's next for me, what's going on for me. One of those things was my children leaving home. And it combined with some other things that happened in my life. So, yeah, I moved away from designing buildings and landscapes and running massive projects to helping empty nesters, people like us, to start designing their own life and the life that they truly want to live. And Michelle?
Yeah, and I've had a career, 23 years as a physiotherapist, and I guess in a little way similar to Mark, I was getting a little disillusioned because I wasn't able to give more empowerment, I suppose, to my clients. You know, I could see that they'd come in, the physio clients would come in with their pains and their aches and their stiffness, and I could treat them, but giving them those tools to help them prevent things happening again, or getting them inspired as to why they were wanting to get rid of the pain, was a little challenging. And I guess I was hitting a brick wall quite often. I had a massive number of clients who were under insurance claims, and unfortunately that created a mindset of victim mode, and I was hitting a brick wall. I did start to bring in the life coaching, so I had become a coach probably 12-13 years ago. I started bringing that into the practice, and then, like Mark, I had a life change. I moved from Perth over to the eastern side of Australia, and I decided then that I no longer wanted to be a physiotherapist, that I really wanted to just help people become empowered through coaching, which was something that happened because I myself went through a very challenging part of my life where things happened, where I fell into a hole, and where personal development, personal growth, and learning about myself brought to my life so many more answers, and also helped me to grow. So in that transition, I also, a few years later, met Mark, and I was at the time coaching young people, coaching youth, and we came together. Mark decided he would leave architecture, and we thought, well, what can we do? What can we do together? And I had witnessed Mark just naturally coaching young people, young men, and I said to him, "Go, you're a real natural at coaching." And by that time, I had 10 years experience under my belt, so I kind of felt, you know, I knew what he was doing, and I could feel that he had so much heart, so much care. I wanted to help. So we were just at the beginning of becoming empty nesters, 4 girls between us, and we were going through some of those emotions that many empty nesters, I'm sure, go through. And we thought, well, why not? Why not serve people, help people who are like ourselves, help them to remember their dreams to start with, and then help them to have those tools to get their dreams, to go towards their dreams. So the Dream Architect, that kind of flowed, and we came up with the name of the business.
I love it. I love it. And how old are your children now?
Okay, how old are yours?
So I've got twins. They are 22 this year,
and I've got 24 and 26 to be this year. So all
Okay.
girls, and they live 2 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, and 1 in Perth. And we are in the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
We have a great relationship with all of them, just because they're in completely different states from us. I guess that's one of the things that we are blessed with, is that, you know, we've moved through those things, and you know, we still have a, you know, reasonable connection with our kids.
Now, I don't have children myself, but I do know that people who have children, their whole life revolves around their children, right? And this is part of the issue, isn't it, when the children leave home and suddenly, you know, the parents sort of don't have anything else maybe to focus on, or they put so much into their children that they forget what life's about for them. And that can lead, you know, to depression and homelessness and some serious situations for people mentally. So for yourselves, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when your children left home, and how the personal development obviously helped you, but what are some simple things that you did to move through those challenges of becoming an empty nester?
Okay, well, the biggest challenge for me was missing my girls. And also part of it was worrying about whether they were okay. And then another challenge was, how come they're not communicating with me anymore? And that's a challenge that a lot of parents go through, and they go, what happened? You know, your child was the closest thing to you, you talked every day, you messaged every day, and then they're gone, and all of a sudden, quiet, crickets. So those are the three. But as you mentioned, and as I mentioned earlier, I've been, I guess, growing and learning about myself for, I don't know now how many, 12, 13 years now. And that has definitely helped me to be in my own and be on my own as well. I was a single mom, raising my kids, and like you said, I poured my heart and soul into the children. Everything I did was for the children, but at the same time, the back of my mind, I did know that a part of what I was doing needed to be for me. Whether I did that or not on a regular basis, I believe I didn't. I wasn't consistent in giving to myself, in my self-care, in my self-love. Even though I knew it in my head, I wasn't actually doing it, because for me, my children always came first. And that was simple things like, if I cooked a meal and there was another bit of leftovers there, I'd say, no, you have it, if they wanted it. It was always them first. So little things like that. But what happened is, prior to them leaving and after they left, I went through quite a bit of a burnout. I was physically exhausted. I mentally, I guess I was in a bit of a haze as well, because even though I had dreams, I had kind of put them aside, and I didn't really know. I was really unsure as to what was next, and how I was going to go about going towards those hidden dreams. So it took a while, and you know, I look back now and I think, well, that was a period that I needed to go through. It was that emotional, the emotions needed to go through me, the grieving, the getting things organized as well through my heart and mind, for me to now be where I am now with Mark, helping other empty nesters. So having that personal development, having that clarity at the start of what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, also knowing that emotions need to go through me and not to dismiss them and put them aside. Those are 2 tips that I used to help myself get through that empty nester period.
Huge transition. And what about for you, Mark?
Yeah, my story is, I guess, a little bit different in terms of my first wife, Tina. She was diagnosed with cancer when the girls were very, very young. They were only 18 months old, and I became carer for both, obviously, the girls and for Tina, for about 11 years before she passed. So I became very much a single dad, even partway through that process, but particularly after that. And so, you know, I was a dad and a mum, but it was, you know, I had, when the girls ended up leaving and going to university, I really had to start to learn, well, actually, who am I? You know, I've been this parent, this mum and dad role model, if you like, for many years, and I'd shelved a lot of things. I was running an architectural company, and I moved from that and got into government because it was an easier, if you like, process, and not process, easier commitment, if you like. Running a business is very different from being an employee. So moving through that transition, and refinding who I actually am was a very interesting process. You know, my coach, I engaged in a coach, needed help to go through this stuff. And he asked me one day, well, what do you do for fun, Mark? And just as Michelle shared before, because you pour so much of your life into your work, into your children, into everything else but you, it was a really awakening question for me. And I didn't know how to answer it. I don't know, you know, and it took me a little while to really dive into that and understand, well, what about me? Some people say, oh, that's selfish, you know, that's so selfish about, you know, pleasing yourself first. But you know what? If you don't, and this is what my lesson was, I poured everything into my kids and into Tina and into work. And I had nothing left for me, absolutely nothing left for me. So what I learned past that was the more energy, the more love, the more fun that I gave myself, it then allowed me to give even more to other people. And that's what the relationship now that I have with this lovely lady, Michelle. So it's, you know, we go through these things in life, don't we? They're challenges, they're problems, but at the end of the day, they are gifts. They allow us to learn something that we needed to learn. Some of those gifts are horrible gifts. You know, they're not great things to go through, but if we turn our focus around and put a different meaning to those events, then we can start to work through them and come out of the other side in a far more different and empowered place.
And they're not necessarily horrible gifts. They're just gifts wrapped up in a horrible looking paper. That's what I see. On the inside, there's a beautiful gift. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's always gifts and learnings in every challenge. And until we get those learnings, we will keep attracting the same kinds of challenges through life until we get it. So once you find the gift and the learning and you appreciate that, then that's when you can really move through, you know, and you know, a lot of people do hold on to resentment. They have a high expectations of how life should look, or they think it should look, you know, and particularly, I guess, with children, a lot of people want their children to be like them, or they have, you know, certain goals for the children, and yet each child is such a unique individual that has its, you know, their own journey to travel down. And, you know, I can't speak as a parent, but I can speak as a child to my parents. And I know that, you know, I gave my parents a hell of a time as a teenager. You know, I got kicked out of home very young, and, you know, and until I did my, you know, soul searching and personal development work, was I able to then come and reconnect with my parents. And now we are so incredibly close. And I'm really glad I went through those challenges as a child to then appreciate what I really had at home once I left the environment at home. And, you know, and I think, you know, it's unfortunate now that there are a lot of nuclear families and a lot of broken families and a lot of broken people. And this is where I think what you do is so important, because, you know, people really have to put the oxygen mask on themselves first, like they say in the plane, to be able to help others, right? And to allow people to have their own journey through life. And, you know, each child is such a miracle and such a gift to be able to have a child. And I think letting go of some of that expectation of what things, you know, should look like, and be committed, not attached, is a great thing to remember with children. You know, be committed to what you'd like for them, but not attached to how that's going to look, because we each have our own journeys.
Yeah.
So you have a phenomenal program coming up, Michelle. I know we've got Mother's Day just around the corner, and I'd love to just touch on that now, and then we will pop the link in the chat. And also, I'd love to hear your 7 tips to empower empty nesters as well. So first, could you tell us about the program you've got coming up? And I'll pop that link into the chat for those watching us. And if you have just joined us, and hello, Neem, God bless you. He's just there. God bless you too. Thank you so much. And if you have just joined us, please pop into the chat. Where are you watching this from? And what are you grateful for today? Let's put some gratitude out there. We've got the Global Good News Challenge happening right now as well. All right, so let us know about this program, please, Michelle.
Yes, okay. Well, the program, it's a gift from us. It's a gift for empty nester mums for Mother's Day. And we know that there are lots of mums out there, especially single mums, but not necessarily, who, like we were talking about earlier, have given their all to their children, and many have forgotten who they are. And they're maybe stuck in that identity of just being the mum. And the children have left and they're alone at home and they're wondering, what's next? What's next? But they can't shift that identity of being a mum. Now, you'll always be a mum. You'll always be a mum. No matter where you are in life, you know, from the time your child was born to the time you die, you will always be a mum. But what is it that you want to experience? What is it that you want to contribute? How is it that you want to grow? And it is okay to let go of that shell of being a mum, that, you know, the mum who is constantly busy and looking after your children, and to find out what's beneath that layer. Who is it that you were in your 20s? What did you dream about as a child? All those things that you sort of shelved aside, like I did, you've put aside and you thought, well, I'll do that later. Bring them up to the surface. And what we have found, though, is that when many mums and dads bring up those dreams to the surface, they get scared. Fear sets in because they don't feel that they are the person not only worthy, but the person capable of going for those dreams. They suddenly lost their passion and their inspiration for those dreams, because they see themselves in a mold of, I was a parent, I did this way, I've got this belief, and lots of things block them from getting there. So the reason for doing this Empty Nester Empowerment program is to open up the shell a little bit, open it up, let you see what's inside. It will be possibly vulnerable for you, but just know that you're with a safe group. You're myself and with other mums who are possibly going through the same thing. No judgment. Okay, it's a 3-day program. It starts next Thursday, the 13th of May, goes on Friday and on Saturday as well. And the link, as Aldwyn said, the link is in the comments. So all you have to do is go in and register. It's absolutely free. So I hope that from that program, we will have mums come in who were maybe feeling a little bit disengaged and irrelevant, to feeling empowered and on purpose.
I love it. And what time is it on each of those days?
So on Thursday the 13th and Friday the 14th, it's on from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, it's on from 9:30 to 10:30.
Okay,
and it's
that's Australian.
Yeah, it's Australian Eastern Standard Time, that's right. And it's via Zoom, and the classes, if you register, will be recorded and you can have access to them in a Facebook group.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds amazing, a great give back. Now, that leads nicely into your 7 tips to empower empty nesters. So could you please share some of those with us, Michelle?
Okay, Mark will start with the first one.
Mark, great, Mark. Thank you. Over to you, Mark.
So the first one we would like to share is focusing on the quality of the relationship. You know, it's what we feel is we need to deepen that connection. You know, we all have challenges, we all have gifts, I suppose, in different relationships. As you rightly said before, Aldwyn, is that, you know, it's a time to forgive. It's a time to let go of some of those things that have occurred. And you can only do that, you need to do that so that you can deepen that relationship with somebody. You know, let go of that past, forgive that person. But by deepening that relationship, you can create a greater connection with somebody. It's one of our fundamental needs as a human species. Love and connection is one of the 6 human needs that we all have. So, it's a fundamental requirement. Let's really deepen it. And, with technology these days, a lot of our relationships are so surface-based, friends on Facebook and, all different sorts of platforms, and you don't really get a deepening aspect and sense of connection there, do you? So our tip here is look for ways to really deepen that relationship and find a deeper level of love for that person.
Mm. And that applies to number one, which is you. So
absolutely,
yeah, start with you first, and you will find that will happen as a ripple effect with the relationships around you. So number two is to tap into your inner wisdom. And you might say, well, what inner wisdom do I have? Well, I can challenge you that you do have plenty of it. You've got 40, 50, 60, maybe more years of having had experiences, having had challenges, growing from it, becoming the person that you are today. Maybe parts of you don't necessarily love there, but there is the challenge to grow further with the wisdom that you have already got. So you've had many challenges, I'm sure, and many joys as well with your children. You've had to find ways to show them the way so you can reflect those back on you. If you are acting from your truth, if you are serving from your truth to your children and to the people around you, then all you have to do is just go put the mirror on you and reflect the same wisdom back on you and start doing what you're saying. So often, like I mentioned earlier, I had the knowledge in my head, the thoughts of what I needed to do, what was important for me to do, but I wasn't necessarily doing it every single day. So get into alignment with your beliefs that are true to you, that you know will serve you. Tap into your inner wisdom. Okay, do you want to do number three?
Nice. I like it.
So number three is feeling compassion. Feeling compassion to both yourself, as Michelle referred to earlier, predominantly yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Quite often we don't talk very well to ourselves. We're our own worst critic, aren't we? So turning that around and finding really good things and being compassionate to ourselves, and therefore, as a ripple effect, being compassionate to our partner, our children, our friends, our colleagues, those sorts of things, really steps up the way that you can really live and enjoy and love life as it is right now.
Mm. And just a note on that, compassion for yourself doesn't mean that you go into victim mode, that, oh, I feel so sorry for myself, oh, I'm not feeling great today. That's not compassion. Compassion is love, deep love and understanding and care and patience with yourself. And when you do that towards yourself, you actually feel more empowered. You actually feel that you can not only look after yourself, but you also can connect with other people who are not feeling great, and you can then give more of yourself to them. So the compassion needs to start with you, and it starts, I teach a lot about forgiveness. That's one of my biggest tools that I use to just let go of stuff that you've been telling yourself and you've been doing to yourself as well, like eating all the crap food or smoking or the things are not great for you. But that also involves your thoughts in your head as well. So yeah, that's a big one.
Well, it's a response, an emotional need that we have. So, and when the kids leave, we have these certain emotions, with certain things that we all need to experience through that, or we want to experience. Mm. And we may have connected that emotion to the child. When they're gone, where do I place that emotion? How do I experience that emotion now? Yeah. And sometimes people get there and pick up habits and do things that are not empowering, as Michelle said, not doing the right thing for yourself, not being compassionate to you.
Yeah, that's huge. And there's a great graphic actually online showing the emotional spiral and, elevated states of emotion, the ascended emotions and the descending emotions, so blame, fear, guilt, all those things are sort of below the line emotions. And then above the line, we have, love, gratitude, forgiveness, as you mentioned, is one of the highest vibrations you can feel. So, everything is energy, and getting conscious where maybe we've been unconscious, because a lot of people do run around like they're unconscious, so getting conscious to where we've been unconscious around our emotions so that we can have some control over how we do life rather than being the effect of our emotions is really important. So for those watching this, just look up the emotional spiral, and it's a great image online about that.
Yeah, sure. And that ties in with, doing the important things and going up in that, making sure you're aware and conscious of going upwards in the spiral. Things like, and our number 4 is to have a regular schedule of the things that are important to you. So for us, we have regular gratitudes. We do them daily. That's something that has actually brought us together. So that's another story. But, doing gratitudes is going to take you up there. Going out in nature, just connecting with nature. Nature is such a great teacher, a great lover, a great nurturer. Go out, take a little walk, go barefoot on the sand, go for a swim in the ocean. Just something where you're breathing nature, you're seeing nature, you're hearing nature, the birds outside. So that's another good thing. Another one is, like we said in the previous tip about feeling compassion, is listen to yourself talk. When you hear yourself saying something like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I shouldn't have done that, or
why does this always happen to me?
Yeah, those sorts of thoughts that don't feel good and you feel you're downward spiraling, all you have to do is pick yourself up and shift the thought. So what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for having been aware that I actually had some negative self-talk. And then it just starts up. Just start broad, and then you can go specific. So things like that, playing a musical instrument, reading a book that of an author that you love. There's so many good things. So in your schedule, I'm not talking about a list of all the stuff that you have to do. I'm talking about the important bits. Pop them into your day every single day. Stay consistent.
So that you're filling your cup first.
Yeah, that's right. Yours first.
Yeah, I love that. I was actually on a 3-day program this last week with Chris Howard, who's one of the foundation NLP trainers from America. And he said, it's important to have boundaries in life and, to have certain things where you draw a line in the sand, you say, oh, these are my non-negotiables and this is time for me. So I thought to myself, well, I want to go to the gym or exercise at least 3 times a week. So I actually went to my diary and I made time, and I've been at the beach now. I went to the gym this morning. I'm going to the gym again tomorrow morning. So that's my 3 minimum times of exercise that I am committing to myself to do this week. So, having those boundaries and actually making that time in amongst, our busy schedules, because I'm sure everyone's, busy out there with what you've got going on. So making that time is so important to fill your own cup up, as you say. So what are your boundaries? What are your boundaries, the non-negotiables for you to fill your cup up?
Absolutely. It's a great point, for health, for everything, to schedule that into your diary. Make it a booking, make it a commitment to yourself. We get there and we go to the chiropractor or a massage about a month or every month to make sure that our physique, our body is in good working order. So it's those sorts of things that some people go, oh, these aches and pains, that's just because I'm getting old. And they have this rule that I'm 45, 55, 65, therefore I need to be experiencing these sorts of pains. Well, that's not correct. That's not correct. It's a social twist. You can be as fit and as healthy and as abundant and as loving and connected as you ever have been, and probably even more because you've got 40, 50, 60 years of experience and practice of getting there. So it's a matter of scheduling them and putting them higher on your priority.
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and you just feel so much better. And, when you do make time for yourself and you actually become even more productive and more energetic than if you hadn't done that. So I think it's absolutely crucial because, you know, for a lot of people, they're operating at half pace or operating like, you know, you look around, people who don't enjoy what they do, it's like watching The Walking Dead, you know, particularly in cities, you know, it's like these people like zombies walking through life, you know, can't wait for Friday and dread the Mondays. You know, that's no way to really live life, you know, what, because, you know, they need the money to pay the rent, you know, it's just something that, you know, there are other ways out there. And in fact, you know, now there's so many ways that you can create money for yourself without doing a job that you don't enjoy. And, you know, when it comes to finding your purpose, there's a fantastic video online by Bob Proctor. And he says, how to find your purpose. Well, how you find your purpose is do what you love every single day. Do as much of what you love as possible every single day, and, you know, love what you do, the money will come. There's ways, you know. So set your intention out there for what you want and then make it happen.
I just would like to say there as well, Aldwyn, is it's not your fault. You know, I run a nutrition program, and a lot of the time people end up in bad habits of eating not the best food. I'm going to say the same message is for life in general. You know, the zombies, those things, people are going, it's not your fault. Society is set up in such a way that it encourages us to go down that path.
Yes.
But we have choice. We absolutely have choice. You know, we get connected with ourselves first. We get connected in what we truly want, what brings us joy. It can then lead us into really living our life at a far deeper and more, you know, loving and connected and beautiful and, you know, purposeful way. Thank you. So there are so many forces outside of us. Tap inside first.
That's so
absolutely. Absolutely, that's gold, because we have been conditioned to, you know, work hard, study hard, work hard, get a job, pay your taxes. You know, then maybe one day you might rely on the pension, but then, you know, don't rely on your super, because that's going to probably get taken by governments anyway eventually. So really, you know, you can't trust the system. It comes down to you have to trust yourself, you know, and you have to trust what's true to you. And, you know, be one of the people who is not going to be like the number one stat, the number one regret of the dying is living a life not true to yourself. So really, if you're watching this right now, I think it's perfect that you're watching this right now, and you know, take a moment and, you know, ask yourself, am I living a life true to myself? And if I'm not, it's not too late, right? It's not too late. If you're still alive and still breathing, then you can make an impact on the rest of your life. And that's what you guys help people do, is you help people, you know, turn their lives around from maybe, you know, feeling destitute or desperate or alone or, you know, upset by the conditions of, say, children leaving home and not contacting them, and wondering what they're going to do with their lives moving forward, and actually making, you know, the years that you have left, make them the best years of your life.
Absolutely. You know, again, a social norm is, you know, you live to 70, 80, 90. If you get to 100, you get an award. Really. You know, whatever the length of life that you have. I mean, Michelle has a goal that she wants to live to 140.
At least.
So
Nice. I like it.
With technology and health and so on that's around, and you know, everything that's around and available for us now, we can break these social norms. We can really shift things up so that we can live longer and do more things. I mean, one of our messages, we have 3 pillars in our business: experience, contribution, and growth. We all want to experience life. We will experience life in no matter what happens, but we want to choose how we want to experience life, don't we? You want to choose what you want to do, what emotions you want to feel, what activities you want to do, all of those sorts of things. Contribution is one of those massive things that makes us feel so much better when we help, firstly ourselves, but then a lot of other people as well. How can you contribute to outside yourself? And growing, constantly learning something new. You are going to learn something. And there's this old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, is a big lie. It's a big lie. We constantly learn. Be curious. Find things. that you find fun and enjoyable and can help people and experience more.
Just imagine you're in a box, and that's where you've been because you've been conditioned to be in the box, and you have not allowed yourself, or you feel you haven't been allowed to critically think about things, to take each whatever paradigm and go, okay, how can I see this from a different angle? What if I open the lid this way, or put a hole in the box there, or look through the corner of the box? What will I see? There's so many possibilities out there. So, you know, a lot of why people are in boxes, why they're like walking zombies, is because they are in fear of not being able to get enough money with the pension or the super, or, you know, fear of not paying the bills. We're conditioned to be in fear. What if there was something different? You know, what if we could actually create our own reality and not live in fear, live in freedom? That is where we want to be. And as Mark said, using the experience, contribution, and growth pillars, you can decide that, you can visualize that, you can focus on that, and you can get there. Absolutely. You just need to know the tools along the way, and you need to know which parts of the box to break down. Okay, yes. There doesn't have to be total uncertainty. You can hold on to one part of the box if you want to while you're going on that journey. So it's a beautiful journey. Personal growth is a beautiful, beautiful journey. Just takes a little bit of courage, takes one step, and coaches, people around you who will support you and love you and cheer you along the way and celebrate. That's one thing we don't do enough of, celebration.
That's
I know
true.
we've gone off from the 7 tips, but you know, we're passionate about this. We love this. And empty nesters are in a lot of empty nesters, you know, parents who have children have left home are not celebrated for those years that they poured into their children. The kids that they raised who are now flown their wings, are independent and are doing things for themselves, are leading their own lives. There's a rite of passage there that is kind of invisible. So we want to help bring this up again and make it into a celebration. It's not about focusing on the challenges of empty nesters. It's about going, what can we celebrate? How can we experience, contribute, and grow in this period? And the challenges will just fall aside. So yeah,
and evolving. They're beautiful words of wisdom there, and you know, evolving with the times too. Like, you know, Facebook only started in 2004. You know, my dad's 83. He's on Facebook, right? He's adapted and evolved into the new technology. And as much as we may or may not like the way that technology has gone, you know, this is important now. There's actually a lot of, you know, baby boomers and a lot of empty nesters that are now embracing technology and creating online businesses with their knowledge, because, you know, the wisdom that people have over the age of 40 particularly, you know, have experienced a little bit of life is huge. And, you know, if you could package that up in a way that you can then share that knowledge with others and support others in that journey, is a massive opportunity for all empty nesters. And I'd love to, we've got about 7 minutes left, I'd love to come back to these tips and complete the tips. So can we head back there, please, and share some more tips?
Number 5 is breathing. You know, we, again, because of the way we are, because of habitual things, because of society and technology, we end up taking a lot shorter, shallower breaths. Breath is our source of life, is one of those massive sources of life. So breathing, having good, deep, solid breaths. I've practiced martial arts for many years. And I don't know, I got too many minis then, for many years. And one of the key things in any martial art, irrespective of where it's from, what origin, is breath is so important. And, you know, it's a real key for de-stressing as well. Whenever you're stressed, what do? Do you deep breathe or do you shallow breathe? I put it to you, shallow breathe. So whenever you're in a stressful situation, try and link up taking deep breaths, taking a breath in, what they call a box breathing. So deep breath in for a count of 4 or 5, hold it for 4 to 5, breathe out for a count of 4 to 5, hold for 4 to 5, and circulate that around. And do that for 5 times. And it will help you incredibly to calm down, to get yourself back together, to get grounded so that you can move forward and de-stress ultimately.
Yeah, very good. Number 6. Yeah, thank you. Number 6 is Surround yourself with the people who really do care about you, the people who don't judge you for your dreams, for your beliefs, for whatever it is. Get clear on what you want first. Get clear on who you want to be first, and then decide if the people around you are actually supporting you in that. Now, I don't mean you need to lean on them and they're the only person that you have in your life. You just want to have people around you who will help you to grow, will help you to get to your dreams. You know, not people who are the naysayers and say, oh, nah, that's stupid, don't do that, or who are you to do that, or come on, your grandparents, your dad, your uncles, they all did that, so you should be doing that. You've got your own dreams. You're your own unique, beautiful individual. You have dreams, you have contribution, you have so much gift in yourself to give out to others. If you're feeling a passion for something, if you're feeling the whispers of your intuition saying, go this way, open yourself up to that, and make sure that people around you are the ones who will help you along the way, not the ones who are going to push you away, push you back into your shell away from that dream.
There's a saying or a study that says, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So I put it to you, have a look at that 5 people. Are they providing that positive influence, or the influence and the direction and the crowd, the tribe, let's call it, that you want to live? Yes. Project that out even, you know, 5, 10, 20 years ahead. If I stay in this collection of people, in this influence, this sphere of influence, will that project out to the life I truly want to live? And if it doesn't, then maybe have a look at who else can I bring into that sphere? Who do I need to spend less time with and more time with?
And that's one of the hardest things that
Absolutely.
we teach, or people say to us that is to let go of people who no longer are what you want in your circle of friends. But, you know, it doesn't have to be harsh. You can create your own bubble, your own life, and be focused in there. And the people who are not engaged or aligned with what you are, they may naturally fall away or just distance themselves. So it's not hard. A lot of that I teach is forgiveness as well. Gratitude for them being there, showing you what you don't want, but also forgiveness for what thoughts you may have had about them or what thoughts you are having about them. So there's processes in everything. You can get through everything. Nothing needs to be hard.
It's putting those boundaries.
Yeah,
like,
as you said.
Like
yeah.
you were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
It's putting those
Yes.
boundaries in terms of, rules and schedules and so on about how I want to live, but put those boundaries in your life, in your connections, and
your
those
values.
people, and
Yeah.
those values.
Yeah.
Number 7.
All right, you finish it off.
You can do this.
All right. So number 7 is, if you are feeling lost, you're feeling like you're struggling, then how about finding someone who will walk by your side? So, you know, athletes, top athletes, they have coaches. Business, you know, successful business people, they have their mentors. They have people who are there cheering them on, seeing things in a different way to what you may be seeing. And they are there to help you to change your direction a little bit, improve something that you're doing, let go of other things that when you're in the middle of it, you may not see for yourself. So it's like you're in that box and all you see is the walls and what you want. But a coach, a mentor, or someone who is very supportive on the outside can see in and go, hey, have you seen that little bit of dust in that corner, that cobweb there? Have you seen that there's a step there that you can step onto to move yourself higher up in the box? Just little things like that. You need support. And everyone needs a coach, I believe, in any area of their life. We have several coaches who have helped us transition through life. So if you are an empty nester and you are struggling, and you have no idea how, what, where, when, what, you know, why, then maybe consider hiring somebody or having someone close to you who will help you, hold your hand along the way till you can fly your wings.
I love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing those words of wisdom. 7 tips to empower empty nesters. Absolutely love it. And we've popped the link into the chat of the 3-day Empty Nester Mums Empowerment Program coming up from May 13 to 15. Now, how else can people get in touch with you if they want to work one-on-one with you guys?
Okay, well, we have the Dream Architects website, and you can go in there and you can click a calendar link to say, book a discovery call with us, have a complimentary 20-30 minute call with us, and let's talk about what's going on for you, and we can tell you a bit about what we do as well to help, and if it's a match, then we can work together. Another way to join our tribe, join the people who are like-minded, who are in the same space, is on the Facebook at the Awakening Empty Nester group. We also have the Dream Architects page on Facebook. And we also are on Instagram at _dream_architects.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And any final words of wisdom you would like to leave with people today before we wrap up?
Just a big thank you to you, Aldwyn. We spoke earlier about, Michelle mentioned earlier about having a coach to help you correct and put you on the right path. Miss Aldwyn here is one of our coaches. She's helped us in this process to allow us to come into a space where we can get our message out to hopefully a lot more people. So a big thank you to you all.
Yes, and I second that. Definitely. You have helped us have a voice. You have helped us to be seen. And for any empty nesters out there who also have something, who know that they've got a gift, something they want to share with the world to make the world a better place, then talk to Aldwyn. She can help you as well, help you to get out there and have your gift rippled out to the world. So that's my thank you. But to empty nesters out there who are feeling a little bit lost, you don't need to be. Join our tribe, get in touch, see how we work, see what we do, and if it's a fit for you, maybe we'll work together to help you towards an extraordinary life.
I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, Michelle. I'm so grateful that you came to my Free Publicity Secrets workshop and you joined up with our Mass Media Mastery program, and now you've been on radio and you're coming out in a magazine and you're back on a radio again. Is it tomorrow you're back on Juice FM?
Yeah. About 1 p.m. Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday the 6th. Yes.
Fantastic. That's so exciting. 107.3. And did they contact you to do a second interview, or how did that? They did.
Yeah, even though they knew we'd been on the breakfast show, so it's great. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That is so great. And that's the kind of thing can happen once you start putting yourself out there. People will start seeking you for comment. And so you've started now on that journey, and so excited for what's coming up for both of you. Thank you so much for your time here today. Thank you for watching this. We have viewers from Pakistan. Neem said he's from Pakistan, and he says, here he is. He says, I'm in Pakistan there. He says, hello to all of you. God bless. Very lovely program. We're watching from Pakistan, my dear sister. Thank you, Neem. That's very sweet. All the way to Pakistan, this message has gone out. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are. What are you grateful for today? Pop into the chat. And you can get involved also in the Global Good News Challenge happening now. You can start a 5-day challenge sharing gratitude and good news on Facebook Live. So check out Global Good News Challenge for that, and Free Publicity Secrets, my workshop coming up May 20. And tomorrow night we have the Mass Media Tribe meetup as well. So lots going on. Come and connect in our community too, Mass Media Tribe group on Facebook. In the events section, you'll see all of those events listed, and love you to join our community. And of course, check out Michelle and Mark. Go to the Dream Architects. We have the links in there. Go and attend the Mother's Day 3-day Empty Nester Mums Empowerment Program as well, May 13 to 15. All the links are there for you in the chat. Thank you so much once again. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world. Remember to shine bright and light up all those around you. Thank you so much, Michelle and Mark. Signing out for today. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.